A young reporter for Channel 6 News, in the city of New York, April O'Neil, has been investigating a mysterious group known as the Foot Clan, who have been terrorizing the city. One night, she stumbles upon a robbery they're committing and notices a strange figure intervening. When she tries to report this to her colleagues, no one believes her. The Foot Clan strikes again, this time in a subway. Determined to find the vigilante, April heads to the scene and witnesses four mysterious figures fighting off the Foot Clan. As they disappear, she catches sight of them on a rooftop and tries to take a picture for proof. However, they discover her, delete the photos, and warn her not to reveal their existence, identifying themselves as Ninja Mutant Turtle teenagers. Returning to her apartment, April O'Neil finds footage from July 1999 of a laboratory she was connected to as a child. She recognizes the turtles she once cared for in the lab as the same ones she saw on the rooftop. Recalling that her father was experimenting with a mutagen in the lab, she pieces together that these Ninja Turtles are the same turtles from her past. April O'Neil attempts to convince her boss at Channel 6 News about the Ninja Turtles and their battle against the Foot Clan, but her boss is so frustrated that he fires her. She then turns to her coworker Vern Fenwick, who has romantic feelings for her. Though skeptical, Vern agrees to take her to the old laboratory where she first encountered the turtles. There, they meet Eric Sachs, her father's former lab associate. April O'Neil discusses her findings with Sachs, who explains the history of the mutagen experiments. He reveals that he and her late father intended to use the mutagen for healing, but it must have mutated the turtles when the lab exploded, turning them into humanoid beings. Meanwhile, in the sewers, the Ninja Turtles inform their master, Splinter, about April discovering them. Splinter orders them to find April and bring her to their lair, as she's now in danger from the Foot Clan. The turtles locate April, blindfold her, and take her to their lair. Splinter explains how she saved their lives by rescuing them from the lab fire and releasing them into the sewers. When April mentions telling Eric Sachs about them, she unknowingly reveals that Sachs is allied with Shredder, the leader of the Foot Clan. Shredder, now aware of the turtles' existence, launches an attack on their lair to capture them and use their mutagen to spread a deadly virus throughout New York. Despite their efforts, the turtles and Splinter are defeated, with three of the turtles, Leonardo, Donatello, and Michelangelo, being captured, and Splinter gravely injured. Raphael, presumed dead by the Foot Clan, manages to survive. April, who hid during the attack, tries to tend to Splinter's wounds. When Raphael is found alive, Splinter urges him and April to rescue the other turtles before Shredder can extract the mutagen to poison the city. April calls Vern for help, and together they head to the laboratory where the turtles are being held. Upon arriving, April uses an adrenaline dose to revive the nearly dead turtles, while Raphael battles Shredder. Once freed, the turtles join the fight, and they escape with April and Vern, pursued by the Foot Clan. They eventually defeat their pursuers. Back in the sewers, the turtles devise a plan to confront Shredder on the rooftop of Sachs' building before he can finish extracting the mutagen. Meanwhile, April and Vern attempt to retrieve the mutagen from inside the building and incapacitate Sachs. April manages to secure the mutagen and joins the turtles on the rooftop. In the final battle, the turtles help April kick Shredder off the building, where he is severely injured and taken into custody. As the tower begins to collapse, the turtles and April hang on, believing they are about to die. Raphael makes an emotional confession of his love for his brothers. However, they land safely on the street and disappear before the authorities arrive, returning to the sewers with the mutagen to help Splinter recover. The story ends with Vern attempting to impress April with a new car, only for the turtles to accidentally destroy it with a missile from their new vehicle. As Vern loses his temper, April gently calms him down, politely declining the turtles' offer of a ride in their new car. Movie commentary. This story is an intricate blend of action, mystery, and emotional depth, weaving together the elements of a city gripped by fear and the emergence of unlikely heroes. At its core, the story revolves around a young reporter, whose relentless pursuit of the truth sets off a chain of events that propel the plot forward in unexpected and thrilling directions. The city, a sprawling urban landscape, serves as both the backdrop and a character in its own right, teeming with life yet burdened by the shadow of a malevolent organization that spreads terror in its wake. The protagonist's journey is one of discovery and transformation. Initially portrayed as a determined yet somewhat naive reporter, she evolves into a central figure whose courage and tenacity drive much of the story's momentum. Her initial encounter with the vigilantes, shrouded in secrecy and skepticism, is a pivotal moment that shifts the narrative from a straightforward investigation into a deeper exploration of identity, loyalty, and the burdens of heroism. The choice to have her uncover a personal connection to the vigilantes, through her memories of a childhood spent in a lab where the turtles were once ordinary creatures, adds a profound emotional layer to the story. This revelation not only ties her past to the present but also positions her as a key player in the unfolding drama, linking the human elements of the narrative to the fantastical. The vigilantes themselves are compelling characters, each with distinct personalities and skills that contribute to their effectiveness as a team. Their brotherly bond is portrayed with a mix of humor, tension, and deep affection, making them relatable despite their extraordinary nature. The dynamic between them is a crucial aspect of the story, providing both the emotional core and the driving force behind their actions. Their mentor, a wise and seasoned figure, adds a layer of gravitas to the story, grounding the vigilantes' more impulsive tendencies with his wisdom and experience. His role as both a protector and a guide highlights the theme of mentorship and the importance of leadership in the face of overwhelming challenges. The pacing of the story is expertly handled, balancing moments of high-octane action with quieter, more introspective scenes. The action sequences are intense and visually striking, showcasing the vigilantes' abilities while also emphasizing the high stakes involved. These scenes are not merely spectacle but are integral to the plot, each battle carrying significant weight in terms of character development and narrative progression. The quieter moments, particularly those involving the protagonist's investigation and her interactions with the vigilantes, provide necessary breathing room, allowing the story to explore deeper themes of trust, fear, and the search for truth. The story is also rich in thematic content, exploring concepts of identity, transformation, and the nature of heroism. The vigilantes' origin story, ordinary creatures turned into extraordinary beings by a scientific accident, serves as a powerful metaphor for the unpredictable and often uncontrollable nature of change. Their struggle to protect the city while maintaining their anonymity touches on the complex dynamics of heroism, the tension between public recognition and the need for secrecy, the burden of responsibility, and the sacrifices that come with it. The protagonist's role in this dynamic is equally significant, as she grapples with her own sense of duty, whether to pursue the story at all costs or to protect the lives of those who have entrusted her with their secret. The antagonist, though somewhat less developed than the protagonists, serves as a formidable foil to the vigilantes. His motivations are rooted in a desire for power and control, a stark contrast to the vigilantes' selflessness. However, his character could benefit from more depth and complexity. While his actions drive the conflict, his personal backstory and motivations remain somewhat underexplored. Despite this, the antagonist's presence is a constant and menacing force throughout the story, his plans representing a clear and present danger to both the city and the vigilantes. One of the story's strengths lies in its ability to weave together multiple narrative threads into a cohesive whole. The plot is multi-layered, with various subplots and character arcs intersecting in ways that enrich the overall story. The protagonist's personal connection to the vigilantes' struggle to maintain their secrecy while battling a formidable enemy, and the overarching threat to the city all come together in a satisfying and well-constructed climax. The final showdown, while following some conventional tropes of the genre, is executed with a level of intensity and emotional stakes that elevate it beyond a simple good versus evil confrontation. Visually, the story is rich in detail, painting a vivid picture of both the city's underworld and the hidden lair of the vigilantes. The contrast between the dark, gritty urban landscape and the more fantastical elements of the vigilantes' world creates a unique atmosphere that is both immersive and engaging. The use of light and shadow, particularly in the action scenes, adds a layer of visual storytelling that complements the narrative, emphasizing the duality of the vigilantes' existence, caught between the darkness of the world they protect and the light of their own moral compass. The story also excels in its character interactions, particularly the relationship between the protagonist and the vigilantes. Their initial distrust gradually gives way to a mutual respect and understanding, reflecting the story's broader themes of trust and loyalty. The mentor's role as a mediator and guide in these interactions adds another layer of depth, highlighting the importance of communication and empathy in overcoming differences. The protagonist's interactions with her colleague, who harbors romantic feelings for her, are handled with subtlety, adding a touch of lightness and humanity to a narrative that could otherwise be overwhelmingly dark. However, the story is not without its flaws. Certain plot points, particularly the revelation of the antagonist's true allegiance, may feel predictable. While the vigilantes and the protagonist are well developed, some of the secondary characters, including the antagonist, could benefit from further exploration. Their motivations and backstories are touched upon but not fully fleshed out, which occasionally leaves them feeling more like plot devices than fully realized individuals. Despite these minor shortcomings, the story succeeds in creating a compelling and emotionally resonant narrative that transcends its genre conventions. It is a tale that balances action and introspection, spectacle and substance, delivering a story that is as thoughtful as it is thrilling. The conclusion, while providing a sense of closure, also leaves the door open for future adventures, suggesting that the character's journey is far from over. In the end, this story stands out for its ability to combine the fantastical with the personal, crafting a story that resonates on multiple levels. It is a reminder that heroism often comes in unexpected forms and that the bonds of family, whether by blood or by choice, are the true strength that allows individuals to overcome even the greatest of challenges. The story's blend of action, emotion, and thematic depth ensures that it will linger in the mind long after the final page is turned.